The video you selected is part of a class which is available on Udemy.com, Thinkific.com, and Teachable.com. Coupons for these courses are available through our channel and website. To receive the coupon, click on StudentSuccessSpace.com below, and if you right-click on the StudentSuccessSpace.com, a pop-up window will open, giving you the opportunity to open the link in a new tab. On the channel page, click the About button on the far right of the menu. This will open a page which tells a little more about our channel. Scrolling below the description are direct links to our classes, or you can access coupons through the Courses and Publications link. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out our newest publications on Amazon.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Student Success Space. When I was a child, I would watch an episode of I Love Lucy every afternoon with my mother while my younger siblings took a nap. I loved that show. I loved it because I got to spend time with my mother, and I would laugh right along with her. We would later do silly things and imitate her antics as if we were Lucy, and I so desperately wanted to have the life of Lucy. However, I, at that point, could envision Lucille Ball with her riches and everyone loved her, and being an introvert who repeatedly moved, that was me. I was sure that she was endowed with such marvelous friends and extravagant parties, and she had an exciting life that teemed with extravagance and red carpets. Later, I learned the whole story. Lucy started with a difficult life as she grew up without a father who passed away when she was a small child. Her first memory in life was of losing her child. Her mother remarried to a man, but the new family was less than ideal for this wonderful little child with big dreams to become an actress. In acting school, she was told to quit. She had no talent and no ability to act. She was tongue-tied. She was awkward. She might as well leave, they told her. The school then told her mother that Lucy was wasting her time and that she should leave. This led to Lucy starting a new role in modeling. This endeavor also ended in failure because she really struggled with a severe case of rheumatoid arthritis. She returned to acting in Hollywood and she left New York. She then played a few minor roles in movies, still hoping for something more. And in 1951, I Love Lucy debuted on CBS after Lucille Ball demanded that the network have her husband, Desi Arnaz, play the role of her husband on a newly formed television show. Not only did she demand that Desi assume this role, but she would maintain the rights to their shows, which led to the development of the Desilu Productions. When I learned of Lucille Ball's tenacity and her life full of unseemingly insurmountable challenges, I began thinking about all the ways in which each of her earlier trials in life taught her and molded her into a beautiful actress, wife, and even a successful business owner. Failure does that for us if we do not let it beat us. There are marvelous lessons to be learned from each experience in life. Failure provides us with opportunities to learn what doesn't work. It motivates success and propels one to find newer, better solutions. Failure teaches dedication, persistence, and we learned how to move forward. Our character strengthens. Failure provides new learning opportunities in many ways that we could not possibly have anticipated. As I've grown older, I recall the wise words of my father: never compare your Monday worst to somebody's Sunday best. This adage was simple, and it's easy to sit in church and see friends and acquaintances dressed in their best clothes. They look nice, they smell nice, they greet everyone with a smile and a handshake, and in the church pew we may appear the same, but we don't compare our best to their best. We'll be harder on ourselves. What we recall is what we look like first thing on Monday morning with our hair sticking up in weird angles and pajamas askew, needing a shower. And each time I have a desire to look at someone like Lucille Ball and wish I were them, I remind myself that they have what they have and they are who they are because they made themselves that way. They have experienced failures just as I have and just as I continue to, but they have learned from their failures and they have moved forward. They have overcome their challenges. Part of this includes looking at how to stretch and learn from both the positive and the negative experiences. Learning journals aid in discovering solutions to difficult situations. Through the act of recording and reflecting on knowledge, a greater understanding of material and even of more difficult knowledge can be achieved. New concepts can be understood through this activity and create possibilities never imagined before. This process may even spur additional questions, queries, and even lead to greater searches of knowledge and understanding. Continual growth is essential for all human beings. Where to discover your interests and how to amass relevant information is illustrated in an obscure story about a spinster woman. She insisted that she never had a chance to learn. She muttered these words to Dr. Agassiz, a distinguished naturalist, after one of his lectures in London. In response to her complaint, he replied, "Do you say, madam, you never had a chance? What do you do?" "I am single, and I help my sister run a boarding house," she replied. "What do you do at the boarding house?" he asked. "I skin potatoes and I chop onions." He said, "Madam, where do you sit during these interesting but homely duties?" "On the bottom step of the kitchen stairs," she replied. "Where do your feet rest?" "On glazed brick," she muttered. "What is glazed brick?" "Ha! I don't know, sir." He said, "How long have you been sitting there?" She replied, 15 years. "Madam, here is my personal card," said Dr. Agassiz. "Would you kindly write me a letter concerning the nature of a glazed brick?" She took him seriously. She went home, she explored the dictionary and discovered that a brick was a piece of baked clay. The definition seemed too simple to send to the doctor. So after the dishes were washed, she went to the library and found an encyclopedia and read that glazed brick is a kaolin anhydrous aluminum sulfate. She didn't know what that meant, but she was curious and found out. She took the words and read all she could find about them. Then she visited museums. She moved out of the basement of her life into a new world on the wings of education. She was so excited. And after she started with one word, she studied the next one. Then she studied geology, and she went back in her studies to the time when God had started the earth and the world and laid clay beds. One afternoon, she went to a brickyard where she found the history of more than 120 different kinds of bricks and tiles, and why there were so many. She sat down and wrote 36 pages on the topic of glazed brick and tile. She sent it to the doctor. Back came a letter from Dr. Agassiz. "Dear Madam, this is the best article I've ever seen on the subject. If you will kindly change 3 words marked with asterisks, I will have it published, and I will pay you for it." A short time later, there came a letter back that brought $250, and penciled at the bottom of this letter was a query: "What's under the bricks?" She had learned the value of time, and answered with a single word, "Ants." He wrote back and said, "Tell me about the ants." She began a study of ants. She found that there were between 1,800 and 2,500 different kinds. There are ants so tiny you could put them head to head, 3 of them, on the head of a pin, and still have standing room left over for more. Ants are an inch long that march in solid armies half a mile wide and drive everything ahead of them. There are ants that are blind, ants that get wings in the afternoon of the day that they die, ants that build anthills so tiny you can cover them with a lady's little thimble, and peasant ants that keep cows to milk and then deliver the fresh milk to the apartment house of aristocrat ants in the neighborhood. After wide reading and much microscopic work and deep study, the spinster sat down and wrote 360 pages on the topic. Dr. Agassiz published the book and sent her the money. She went to visit all the lands of her dreams on the proceeds of her work. The spinster found great value, both monetarily and academically, in learning something new, even difficult to her. She proceeded to record that information. This journey provided her with an opportunity to grow, to learn, and her own self-worth expanded.